like saving capture devices.
Oh, yeah, I dealt with that actually for a long time. Um, Fuck, I forget what I saw. There was like a video on like specifically how to lock settings and stuff like that, but until I figured that out, I was constantly losing and having to like redo it every time I streamed.
Yeah, likely I should fucking like actually watch an OBS tutorial, but here's the thing about
Are you hang on. You have not watched any You haven't watched any tutorials or anything like that.
I've done some reading, but not a lot.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, in all honesty, if you figured out this much of OBS just from like playing with it, then honestly, good for you.
Well, this is the thing, like, Taylor. Like, this is what I've learned about myself in the last year. Is like, I used to, and I made like an Instagram post about this. I used to think that I was bad at accomplishing things and bad at learning things, but I realized that I didn't know the methodology of learning that worked best for me. And like, I'm a tactile learner. I have to like do things in order to learn things, or else I just won't do it. Like, I can't follow tutorials very well. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have like, I don't know.
But you've got the patience to fuck around with it the wrong way for like 3 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, fair. If you know what works for you, then like work it. Absolutely.
Well, like, I've noticed with this with like Blender and stuff. Like, I'm watching tutorials and I'm like, I'll get through them and I'm like, whew. And like, I'm better for watching them because I like learned some neat tricks. But like, when I really excel is like when I give myself a project and I'm like, I'm gonna build a fucking mech. I learn a ton and I'm a lot more like engaged with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, fair enough. You know, like, yeah. I don't know. It's I understand that to an extent. I do like messing with stuff and like having it there. I definitely learn it better if I can mess around with it. But nah, man, I'm all about like YouTube tutorials and shit. That's my jam. That's my bag.
I'll get real frustrated, look up one, and I get very like frustrated with the tutorial. I'm like, what? 30 whole fucking seconds? What am I supposed to do? And I'm like jumping around trying to find the right spot where they're just like, hit this button.
Okay, that is actually a real thing for me too. Like, because like I'll be looking for. I'll give you an example. Just today, I was looking for like. I'm still obsessed with trying to find ways to share audio from Reaper onto Discord, and apparently there are not many good solutions for this. And like I've been watching tutorials up and down YouTube for like the last like 2 days, trying to find like a good way to do that, and like none of them actually answer like the specific problem I'm having in getting audio from one place to the other. It's all like generalized, this is how you can do stuff. But it's like, no, man, you're not addressing like the singular problem I'm having, like getting this thing to work. But I don't know. I digress. Welcome to Surf's Up, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Terramundi weekly stream, where we whine about getting old and not being good at technology.
It's true. Taylor.
Yeah.
Our project has gotten very real for me in the past week, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, no shit. Our private conversations have gotten very intense about the publication.
Yeah, I mean, and this is, I mean, like, just to talk, like, this is hey, thanks. Glad to have somebody on board. So, this is it's a disaster. I mean, like, this is just it's a disaster.
That's a really strong pitch. Let me just go ahead and say
you're gonna want to publish our game.
Poor Lego just walked in, and we're just like, hey, just so you know, man.
Well, and like this is the thing.
This is really fucking bad.
We're definitely going about this in a weird way. In that I think Mothership kind of did this, in that they like worked on a small publication first and tried to popularize that and move on from there. And, like, that's what we're doing. And I don't know, it's very DIY ethos, which is, like, of course we both grew up listening to punk rock because we're going about this in the most fucking...
in the stupidest way possible.
Well, you need social media accounts. Fuck that!
Oh, fuck! Lengo, you're, David, right? This is the guy who, messaged us about, the interview on,
what up?
On Reddit. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now you get to see the absolute train wreck that is Vault Peddlers.
Yeah, this is our...
firsthand.
Look at our second document that is also starting to get messy.
Oh, it's already, just a train wreck.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Well, very nice to have you with us.
Okay,
Yeah, Corey, go ahead and take over because I'm gonna babble if I'm left to this.
First off, Taylor, I ran my first playtest without you.
Exciting.
Yeah, no, we went through character creation and like we definitely found I found some problem points. Like definitely some things I brought up to you. I would love to like bring down the amount of attributes and skills that we have.
Okay.
And like I think it would be good to slash and burn. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
And as we found, like slashing and burning is something we love doing.
Yeah, we're very Russian that way.
But really exciting. So Taylor, how long have we been arguing about the caravan system?
We have been arguing about the caravan system almost since day one, which was like a year ago.
Right. And like
Yeah.
to like the caravan system's something that we both think is very integral to this game, but it's been a fucking man. It has been a real source of contention.
Nightmare.
Yeah, it's very integral to the process, but it's something that we, or it's something that like last week I was trying to be like justify it. We need to justify it. What's the point? What makes this significant? Why do we need it? Which I was just trying to. I mean, like I hate to turn devil's advocate, but I was trying like we needed that, right?
Yeah.
And like we both agreed, and so we met off stream.
Fucking hashtag got him.
To answer your question, no.
The answer is no.
We got it figured out though. We met off stream.
We have a whole stream based on arguing about a fictional caravan system that no one's ever gonna play.
That's true.
That is the cornerstone of this friendship.
We figured it out though. We both met and
We
pitched each other systems, modified systems, and lo and behold, we came up with something that I think we both really dig.
Yeah, I am really excited to go through this again. Here's my big issue, Corey, and I feel like we're gonna deeply regret not having done this. But so Corey and I met on Saturday. We talked about the new and improved caravan system. What we did not do is write any of that conversation down.
No, but I got my system. I got the system.
Oh, do you got your Madman papers?
Yeah, I got them around here.
Cool, good. So what?
Back in action, baby!
Oh God, God help us. So what we're going to be doing today, Corey, do you want to talk about attributes and skills first, or do you want to go into the caravan first and just try and nail that down?
You can't see my head nods. I forgot about that, but I nodded my head no when you said attributes and yes when I said.
Okay. So I actually can see them. I have Twitch pulled up. It's just that I see them like 10 minutes after you do them because latency.
I have to have myself on a delay because in case I do something that I decide needs to be cut off the stream.
I have a kill switch right here. Just watching him like a hawk.
Okay.
Okay, sick. So we're gonna do caravan stuff. Corey, can you bring the dock? Oh well, I guess we have to show them the actual.
Yeah, let's tell you what. Let's go over the character sheet first, then we'll condense everything down into writing.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So the caravan system as it currently exists is very exciting to me. So what we did is we took the 4 attributes that Taylor had determined, which are research and design, command, support, and intel. All of these are going to be tied to a die, a polyhedral die, a D4 through a D12. Now, you're going to start with caravan nodes. These are like to level up your caravan. Everyone's going to start with every caravan's going to start with the same amount of these nodes. And you're going to get them by accomplishing things in-game. But you can use those caravan nodes to... you can use those caravan nodes to increase the polyhedral die count of each of these attributes. Additionally, when you create the caravan, you're going to pull from a word bank everyone in the group and associate a tag to each of these attributes. The benefit of this is going to come in a minute. But the idea is that, like, our research and design is very science-oriented. Our command is threatening. Our support is mystical. Our intel is diplomatic. These are, like, associations that you can use as a framework for designing your caravan. Because one thing we were talking about is, like, we like the idea of, like, outward appearance, right?
I didn't realize that was an actual question.
Yes.
Yes, we do. You were on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt.
So, this is how the game works. You are going to... each of these comes with a rank. Morale. Okay, so you're going to generate a morale score, and you're going to do that by buying feats. And feats for the caravan system are the same as feats for all the rest of the game, except they're characterized as jobs. And how the jobs work is they are associated with with one of the, what do you call it? One of the attributes. So say we have an intel job, and we have the coffer counter is our intel job. So we're going to the page of feats, and we see coffer counter as one of the jobs, and it's delineated as intel. The cool thing about this is each job comes with an associated character. So they come with an NPC. In our case, the coffer counter is Marie. And in the same way that we are going to pick a tag for each of the attributes, we're going to pick Marie. When you choose her, the archivist picks a tag for her, rolls it off a random table, whatever. In our case, Marie is threatening. She's our threatening coffer counter. And since these jobs are ranked, and they're all going to be ranked on skill trees, and they're going to have caravan rankings, which we'll get into afterwards, they'll come with like a star rating. So a coffer counter, pretty low level. We'll say that Marie is a level 2 coffer counter. She is your accountant, right? She's pretty basic. She's our threatening...
Her management issues are really getting in the way of her career development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these aren't these are static, but you're going to, during downtime phases, each of these jobs is going to have an associated benefit. Like, in the case of the copper counter, I don't... case of copper counter, maybe she increases HP, recovers HP nodes by 1 because she delivers petty coin to the caravan and is able to suss out like the needs associated with I don't know. Give me a feat. What would a copper counter feat recover?
Well, I mean, the obvious answer is like additional petty coin from like completed contracts.
Sure. Okay. So she gives you additional petty coin from completed contracts. Great. How that works is during the downtime phase, which is after adventure style play, you can get this effect from Marie, but you have to engage in a vignette with her. And vignettes are little stories that you're telling between each other, and they're going to have a skill test system associated with them. And as you complete this, you get the effects of the job, and you grow closer or further apart from Marie, because she is either shoring up how your caravan is represented, or she's antithetical to it. But on the completion of this, you get that level 2 bonus in morale. So your morale score is going to change in every downtime phase. I have it maxing out at 10 here, but we'll talk about that later. So you generate, as you recover, this morale score. And the morale score can then be put into each of these nodes before you get into adventure style play. So Taylor, we have 5 morale score, right?
Yeah.
How do you want to split this up?
So I'm always big on like anything regarding like information gathering. So intel would probably be like a very big priority in a caravan that I would be a part of.
Okay, we'll put 3 in intel.
Okay, yeah, and I think I'm also gonna do 1 in R&D and 1 in support.
1 in R&D and 1 in support. And so after your downtime phase, you put these nodes into the places you want them. And how this works is, during contract negotiation and intel gathering and roleplay scenarios, before you get into adventure play proper, before you delve into a city to, shake down the king or move into a dungeon to recover lost goods, you have 5 chances to generate caravan resources. So let's call, we have a D8 in R&D, we have a D6 in support, and a D4 in intel. What this means is anytime during non-adventure style play, so intel gathering or contract negotiation, we do something that is about gathering intel in a diplomatic way, our archivists will then look at us and say, hey, you gathered, you were diplomatic to that bartender to gather information about the delve outside of town. Roll that D4. So you're going to subtract one of those nodes, and you're going to roll a D4. Whatever the number comes up with is how many D4 you get to add to your caravan resource. So your center pool, we roll a D4 and we roll 3. We now have 3 D4 in our caravan pool. Sweet. Well, if I'm doing research and development, as we're doing this, we find out that the delve outside of town has a big drop in it, and we don't have a way to get down. And we take our mech carriage and fashion a pulley system on it. Well, that's pretty science-based research and development. My archivist then looks at me and goes, well, mark that off, and you do, and I'm going to roll a D8. My D8 is how many D8s I get in order to add to my caravan resource pool. So I roll a D8, I get 5 D8s to add to that center pool. Now, go on.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay, so I am curious about this, because I don't remember if we talked about it on Saturday. Let's take this caravan for example, where we have no nodes clicked in command. Let's say we do still nonetheless do something that is threatening when like establishing like a command action or something like that. Do we what happens there if there are no nodes available in command for the archivist to then?
I don't think anything happens.
Okay.
Because it's that thing we're talking about with like heist style play, right?
Yeah.
We're like, we've prepared for this. If like something unintended happens, like I didn't prepare for that. Like I can roll with the punches, but I'm not going to get a benefit from it, you know?
Right.
Okay. Elstragoon, to answer your question. So, caravan nodes, we can just rename as experience points for right now, because that's what they are. That's the caravan resource pool is an integral part of our game, where it's a collection of dice in the middle that you start adventure style play with that anyone can talk to. Yeah, you explain it.
Yeah, so we have taken it upon ourselves to make a very dangerous game in which community is kind of the only way that you are able to survive. So the idea behind the caravan pool that you're pulling dice from is that, let's say you're in the middle of like this very dangerous like excavation of like this very old ruin or whatever. You're trying to get through like this very dangerous trap, and you're like, shit, I guess if I'm going, you know, if I'm gonna be taking this risk, I really want to make sure that I make it. So I'm gonna take one die from like this big central pool of dice that we have, and that central pool represents these sort of community resources, the community having your back, so to speak. And I'm going to add that to my roll because I really want to make sure that I roll high enough to do this. That is the central idea behind the caravan. It is a community that you sort of build over the course of the game in downtime that then leads you to be able to take on more dangerous contracts and dangerous missions as the game sort of progresses. Corey, would you say that that's all pretty accurate, or did I...
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I was just answering Elstragoon's question.
Oh, okay, I got you. You were on the chat.
So, that's cool. We'll be here. So to answer your question, Elstragoon,
we'll still be here in 20 minutes. We'll see you then.
It's to increase the outward facing like personality of your community and not just your individual characters. Your individual characters are going to have their own motivations just as they are characters. But we wanted to color the idea of like you controlling the narrative of your caravan as well. And this seemed like a neat way to do it.
Elstragoon, that's a really good question. Party isn't going to want to move on to the adventure phase till they've finished finding opportunities to RP all their chances. Well, and you know, the thing is, Corey, there's good and there's bad with that.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Like, you can definitely... we've all, I think, had an experience with tabletop games where, like, a downtime session just lasts too long.
Yeah.
And, like, you can only... The GM can only do, like, so many, like, shopkeepers or whatever before it just kind of like, really starts to drag. On the other hand, I don't know. Like, it is a system that I think mechanically encourages you to think about things a certain way. My biggest thing is what happens when you get, like, 20 morale from a job, and then you have... like all of these different nodes that are ticked. There are going to be certain points where you complete really dangerous jobs where there's just no way you can do that.
So I think there's a couple ways that this is going to work, and I think some of it
is going to have to rely on, and this is something I hate saying, but you have to rely on GM fiat at a certain point. Like, you can't hard encode everything. And, like, that's good, because otherwise we'd be playing a fucking video game, right? I like the idea that you go around planning phase, banking dice, essentially planning, preparing.
Yeah. That's. I'm really excited about that. Like, I know we've said it before. I love heists in games, and I like that we're like prioritizing that. And I think that's one thing where this game is going to excel. Where this game does excel, damn it.
It will excel.
But yeah, I think at a certain point you have to rely on GM fiat. In the case of Taylor, Cyberpunk the other day, you guys were having a conversation in the beginning with Collar and Dot Matrix. And I took the liberty of moving that along by dropping assassins on your head. Like,
yes.
There is...
I recall.
Like, there is a certain point where, like, there are things you can do to push players to go before expending all their resources. And additionally, Taylor, what you mentioned about having 20 morale and, like, having all of these nodes, I think that it's, in a way, self-limiting, because the more morale you have, the more known you are, and the more dangerous your life becomes, right? Because you have rivals at that point. You have banks and operatives working against you. People of, like, corporations, the church in Iran hates you and doesn't want you around. Like, so you have these limiting factors with you. But also, Taylor, and this is something very fun, we talked about the Caravan rating system is also transient, like the morale system. So let's get into that in let's get into it in a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Categorize morale to intel. Is that a thing, or do the character players and then just walk around? No. You have to put them into. You have to distribute morale as soon as you generate it.
Yeah, so the idea is that as, like, the archivist, I don't know whether or not the players have actually earned the opportunity to roll for, like, these D8s in, like, that we have in R&D, unless we have actually put the node into R&D.
Right.
If we haven't put it in there, then I don't know what kind of dice they need to roll. I don't know what they need to do in order to get it. So yeah, it's very much a strategic thing, I think, on the player's part, because, I mean, I asked before about, like, if you don't have any nodes in command, like, and you're just up a fucking creek, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that that's actually cool. That leads to kind of some strategic thinking as far as where to place morale, as far as what you think is likely coming down the road.
Yeah, and how I see it is that, like, as soon as you complete these vignettes in your downtime phase and generate your personal resources back, that's when you distribute morale. As soon as that's done, so that way it's just, like, immediate. Because all the other next styles of play are going to... I mean, that's when you're going to be spending it. Role-playing is intel gathering, exploration, whatever, all these other facets of the game. And I think anytime that shit doesn't pop off, well, that's when the adventure-style play kicks in. Like, if you're going to break in somewhere, like, I don't know, we'll have to talk about that, because I could see that as intel gathering, too. I guess it depends on the nature of the contract.
Yeah, I think that as we would define it, anything that's adventure style play would technically be what you do on the contract. If we're gonna get really specific about
anything to actively further the contract's goal, not passively, like, collecting intel on it, but, like, actively, like, I'm breaking into the regent's house and, like, right. Would you say that?
That's actually really hard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we'll have to clearly define that.
I think that the answer is yes, but it's gonna depend a lot based on what the contract. It depends on what the contract actually is.
Yeah.
Right? If it's like, for example, go into like this old Vigil ruin, and I don't know, find this old like satellite piece, then like, okay, so like that's your job. Breaking into the Regent's house might be helpful, but it's not necessary. It's not like a part of the job. So as an archivist, I would probably rule that that's not adventure style play.
But
that is a good opportunity where, like, if you did just complete a job with like 20 morale, you have like all this fucking rollover from your previous contract that like, you could possibly use, even if it's not.
I solved it. I just solved it. So the morale is like once you have created it, right?
Dragoon, yes. Archivist is GM, correct.
Once you've generated your morale, you can't go back into downtime phase until after the next contract is completed.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so Taylor, once you generate morale, it becomes a static number. You put it into whatever you want, and then while you're investigating, you can use those resources if you want as you generate them.
Well, and the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're an adventure style play or not.
Yeah.
Because as a, like, while I'm on a delve, if I'm going into that, like, Vigil Ruin or whatever, there's going to be opportunities for, like, support and intel-based play.
Yeah.
And if no, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't need to be adventure.
Once the notes are gone, you've generated all you can.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to generate more by completing the contract, or by doing the little vignettes with the feats. Right? That's
for sure.
Idea. Yeah. Okay. Certain things. Each NPC had stats.
So that was kind of my initial idea when we were first pitching them, was each one would have certain polyhedral die associated with them. I think that we decided to go not that route only because this is a more simplistic system. Like, I think that would definitely work too, especially if we like had like physical assets for the game. Like we had a card with like a magic card with like mana cost on top of them, and that's how many you could generate from them.
That might be Vault Peddler's
the
second
board game.
edition.
Okay, but we're not done here. So, additionally, you're always going to have a community goal, and community goals are they're very concrete, right? In this case, I put our community goal as build a mobile tavern. Building a mobile tavern is something everyone in the caravan wants. It's going to increase morale. Everyone's going to be happy. And it comes with it an associated XP. So in our case, building a mobile tavern is going to give us 5 XP. Once we build that mobile tavern, we can add it to our XP total. So we added 5 to 7, and now we have 12 XP. And we can spend that to bring our intel up to a D6. And maybe that drops our spent to 6 and our total XP left over to 6. So cool. It's very concrete. We know how to level up our group. It encourages you to play within the caravan and like increase the look of it. But that's not all, Taylor. Because one thing I really enjoy about games with, like Shadowrun with the disadvantages or GURPS with disadvantages. I like games with disadvantages and flaws, and we don't have that built into our player characters. But Elves Dragoon, we do have it built into our caravan system. Yeah, exactly. The XP upgrades the die. So in this case, you buy quirks, and quirks free up more XP for you to spend. One quirk that Taylor had in mind was called Tides of Luck. But what quirks really are is they're Archivist GM-facing feats. So in the case of this one, Tides of Luck, during play, the Archivist can make you roll a Caravan resource. Whenever you're making a die roll, he can decide he wants you to roll it. So in
Just
that,
waste it on something totally meaningless.
exactly, like you need to really kick ass at grabbing that cup out of the air. Or one of the other quirks we had, and so that's like rated 5, or we'll say that's rated 10. That's a pretty bad one. But in addition, so now I just throw an extra 10 onto my XP pool, and now I have 16 XP. And our Caravan group is a little quirkier.
Okay, so a question that I have on this.
Yeah.
So is the 10 points that you get from Tides of Luck, it's a one-time payout that you get right at the beginning?
Correct.
So why would I take it then if I'm gonna just generate these points anyways from from meeting community goals and completing contracts and all that? Like, I'm eventually gonna get that 10 XP anyways. So why would I bother like hanging on to this huge disadvantage that affects me throughout the rest of the game?
Yeah, and that's something we should definitely think of, because we were definitely, like, we were talking about making this a kind of transient system in that, like, I think part of it is, like, I don't know, maybe, ooh, I kind of got an idea.
What I was thinking was we make the numbers lower, but we make it regenerate at the completion of each contract.
Well, I was kind of
like, oh yeah,
I was thinking maybe the amount of XP they generate is how many adventures they last.
Okay, so if I'm on like my 7th contract, then I get 7 points.
Yeah, well, no. Like if I take Tides of Luck 4, like okay, we're gonna get 4 XP, which is great because we need it right now. But it will last 4 adventures.
I love that, actually. I think that's kick-ass. Yeah, so I think that my only note on the quirks, having had a couple of days to think about it, is just they probably need to depreciate in some way.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being one-time buyouts for permanent.
I actually agree with that, especially because another thing we were thinking of is having the... Oh, maybe that... well, we were thinking about having these die value for your attributes depreciate too, but we haven't really grappled with how.
We haven't quite nailed that one down yet, but I do want to have something to that effect. I really like the idea that
that's kind of a point too, Elstrad. I kind of like that too.
Doesn't trigger until you dip into those last XP points.
So you always want to have a bank going.
Oh, that's tight.
That's a clever way to do that.
I like that a lot.
But yeah, I like the idea that it depreciates in some way. And I like the idea that these Caravan attributes depreciate in one way. And another way that comes into play is the Caravan rating system, which is something we've talked about for a while.
Yeah, so do you mind actually if I talk about this?
Go for it, because this is your baby.
It is. So in a previous stream, I tackled a homework session where I basically gave like an overview of what the Caravan system actually, or what the contract system actually is. And in it, I wrote like a single line where I accidentally created fantasy Yelp for Vault Peddlers, where different Vault Peddler groups basically exist on like a star rating thing where people who have done contracts with you before basically rate your performance, and this is meant to give kind of like in D&D, like you're a level 1 character versus a level 20 character. In this one, we basically have like a level 1 to like level 5 Caravan hero ratings in One Punch Man. I've never seen it, but I've heard it's great. I don't know. That's like, I don't know. I haven't watched anime in fucking forever, but like everybody has told me that that's like a really great one. So I don't know. I might check that out at some point. Anyways, as you get more XP and you can sort of dump these into like advanced die types, or you can dump them into getting a higher caravan rating. There are two basic ways to do this. One is through using XP or caravan points or whatever to increase your rating. The other possibility is to just organically get jobs for the next star rating up. So an example might be Corey and I are in like a level 2 caravan. We're relatively small fish, but this really big contractor out in Ishtas, like all of the big caravans are busy. They're otherwise occupied. He needs somebody to fulfill this job really quick. So he's offering a rare opportunity to for a 3-star contract, and he's offering it to 2-star caravans. If we complete that contract, it basically means that we move up, right? As long as the guy is, satisfied with the work that we do for them. The cool thing about this system is as we go up in levels, we gain access to more of these jobs. We gain access to more people in our R&D team or our intel team or our support team. And we can gain new feats and new advantages and new sources of morale for each level that we go up. So an example using the idea here, using the little graph that we have here, let's say we're a level 3 caravan. So we have Marie, our threatening coffer counter. We have our threatening pastor Abe. We have our diplomatic coffer counter, who I guess has a lot of shit going on with Marie.
We'll change that. It's a blacksmith.
No, I kind of like the idea that there's personnel issues in HR.
They're all blacksmiths.
They're all blacksmiths. We have Tom, our diplomatic blacksmith. Each of these guys correspond to a level that we have taken, or a new star rating that we have achieved as a caravan. So the idea that I had for these, and this is what I came to Corey with on Saturday, that I think we're going to kind of patch in here, is that as you go up these levels, you have the option of basically re-slotting these people out.
Yeah.
So let's say like, Maria's good for what she does. She's a great like level 2-star caravan coffer counter. But like there's this new girl called Jean, and like she's phenomenal. She's like a level 4 coffer counter. She's way better at what she does. When I get to level 4, I can replace Marie with Jean, and then we can get even more out of those interactions, out of those vignettes with Jean than we might have gotten with Marie.
Wait, can I jump in here for a second?
Yeah, by all means.
I think this also plays into, like, we've spent a lot of time gamifying this, and...
we do have to deal with Marie if we replace her.
Well, this is actually what I'm getting to. We've spent a lot of time gamifying this, and that's great, and I really like that we're doing it. But this is a role-playing game, and there are roles to play. And that's the fun thing about having these job owners with associations. Because, like we're saying, we have a level 3 cook that's been with us for a really long time, and we have really poignant vignettes together. We just vibe really well. Because we drop to a 2 or a 1 and we lose fucking everything, like, we're destitute now, all of a sudden, like, we backslide. And that's the big thing I like about the Caravan system, is that it operates this idea that, like, one day the group's doing great, another day the group's not doing well. It's kind of like Okie travelers in, the Dust Bowl. Like, that was kind of like the original hobos and stuff. Like, down on hard times occasionally. And so maybe my cook, Gregoire, is going to stay with us because we've had very good interactions. And even though we're down on our luck right now, he's more lenient to that. But additionally, because they have tags with them, like maybe we meet somebody in a town, in a rod, there's a bartender that we really dig more than our bartender. Well, there's no reason why we can't fire that person and like hire this new person. They get rolled with a word tag stuck on them and they're now in that slot. Still mechanically does the same thing, but we get to shuffle around the group that we want and eventually, as we were talking about before, have this outward-facing crew that we've wanted.
Yeah. And in that way, it's a really cool blending, I think, of the hyper-mechanical system that like I had envisioned with the kind of narrative play that I know we both really enjoy. And definitely as far as our initial goal of community building goes, fuck, if this isn't it, I don't know what is.
Yeah, like at the end of our meeting the other day, we like, I don't know, like this feels like the Caravan system to me.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It feels unique. I can't think of another game that does it quite this way. It feels, I don't know, it just feels like Vault Peddlers.
Yeah, it does.
And shit, I mean, after all of the fucking stressing that we've been doing about this thing, like there are definitely still some unanswered questions as far as like how do resources or schools depreciate? I mean, that's definitely something that we're going to need to tackle in a later stream.
Yeah.
But as far as the basic skeleton of the Caravan system goes, fuck, I love this.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. It's also really simple. Like, we've talked about it now for 40 minutes, and I can see how it might feel overwhelming to somebody when they first start.
I'm sure it was when I presented it.
Well, here's the thing though. It's one of these things that like you learn it by playing, and as soon as you are playing it, it makes perfect fucking sense. Like, I don't know. It's very intuitive. It's an intuitive system, which I think is probably the single most important quality in any kind of like a tabletop mechanic. It's got to be intuitive.
For me, it doesn't feel like it's tacked on. Is the big thing. It feels like it uses the mechanics that we already have established. It feels like it's playing into the themes of our game. Like it feels like an extension and not an addition.
Totally agree.
So yeah, that's now write that, Taylor. Just write all that, please.
Yeah, cool. So I'm just gonna not talk for the next rest of the stream.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we probably don't have to type that now. You've explained it all.
I mean, the good news is, if nothing else, we have this now on video when it's been recorded.
We can watch it.
When we forget about it, we can go back to it and be like, what did we have in mind for this?
Well, I'll tell you what, are you free for an hour this weekend?
Well, this weekend I'm actually getting tattooed.
Okay.
So I might be, depending on what our schedule looks like on Saturday. I might not be.
Okay. Maybe we could do it Monday night or something, but we should sit down and write the rules out on the 1E document so we can have it presented as we are going to present it to people.
I think that's a good idea. If nothing else, we should have that just to present on stream.
Because the big thing here is the next playtests we're going to do.
Yeah, boy!
Is character creation for the Vault, for the Caravan. But which brings us to Taylor. I don't know if you checked out our Instagram.
No. The answer is no.
I made a bold stance that the 26th is when playtest season begins.
What? Excuse me?
You heard me. That's what you get for giving me control.
Corey, goddammit.
The season begins!
This is why I don't fucking get on... God, you have sent me into such a fucking anxiety spiral.
It is an RP thing. So Caravan Creation, like in the beginning, everyone's gonna create their character and create their caravan. Just associate the tags with the attributes, and then do your first distribution of points to level those up. Buy whatever quirk you want to start with, and hi Taylor.
Hi.
And get like a job or two associated, so that when you start, your caravan has something to begin with. You're not starting from nothing. You're starting with a solid little skeleton crew. What up?
What up?
What happened?
Nothing. I died. I was resurrected, and then I died again.
So the 26th is when playtest season starts in earnest. And it's awesome because we have Caravan Creation to playtest. We're going to playtest character creation more. We're going to playtest base combat. We're going to playtest combat with Caravan resources there. We're going to playtest, like, the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. We still have to make the contract negotiation system, but that's fine. That's next on the block, baby.
Oh boy, yeah. It's hitting me all at once what we have to do before, like, May 5th.
16 weeks, baby! Hitting you! And that's the other thing. Like, our first step with Vault Peddlers 1E is we want to get a zine-style print ready to go.
Yeah.
So we're shooting for May 6th to have what we want, at least word-wise, going to the printer. That means I have to do a ton of layout and design. It means I have to do a ton of drawing. It means I have to do like that. And we both have to look at printers. We both have to look at.
I helped.
Yeah, well, Taylor, you get to write everything out.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be the main writer and editor, which is a nightmare. May 6th. Yeah, Corey, what's May 6th? Why'd you pick that date?
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
I have all the
Corey's
birds that day.
Corey's gonna get a nice little birthday present. There's tons of behind the scenes stuff that we need to talk about as far as like the actual presentation. What kind of tone does the writing take?
Yep.
How do we wanna like present all of these fucking things? It's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, we're shooting for like a condensed alpha set of our rules. This is very much not going to be done. This is very much going to be alpha rules ready for, like, just to be able to get it into people's hands. Just as I want to be able to sit down and say, look, I created something, Papa. Good night, Father, I love you.
Good night, Papa.
Huh? And we'll see about that. Later.
So yeah. I am legitimately excited that we are going to have a physical document
I'm
to
on the
represent
stream.
like the year of work we've been doing. The year of work we've been doing together. It's been a long road, and to be here now is insane.
Yeah, I don't know, like, Taylor, this is, I mean, you know what? Let's be marginally masturbatory for the last couple minutes.
Absolutely not.
But I don't know, like, we've tried starting projects together before,
Yeah.
and none of them really take off, and, like, I think this goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning of the stream. Like, I always try to front load myself with stuff that I don't like doing, and you know what I like doing is, like, getting my hands dirty.
Yeah.
And, like,
No,
yeah.
I mean, it's true. And, like, I don't know. I've been excited about previous projects that we have tried to undertake together. They have all notably been things that I typically don't really do. Like, we had tried, like, a story writing thing where we were going to do like a storytelling podcast, and like I was excited about that as a concept, but I also don't like write stories on a regular basis. But Corey, like I've played tabletop games almost every week with you for the last like 4 years.
Yeah, dog.
I just do that shit.
It's awesome.
So I don't know.
Who would have thought 4 years ago when you got a message from the guy who told you your music kicked ass on Reddit? Hey, do you want to play a tabletop game? And you said yes, and you thought we were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I did. Yeah, fun little story there. We were playing Monster of the Week, and I didn't know what that was. I just assumed it was Dungeons and Dragons. So I did my homework. I came up with a character concept of what I was gonna be, and I got on to like the stream with like Corey and like the group that we were playing with, and the person who was DMing was like, hey, so like have you looked at this book? And I was like, yeah, totally. And then like they had sent a link and I clicked on it and it was the Monster of the Week book, and I was like, yeah, totally.
1 second.
What? Hang on.
Yes.
Look at that dramatic chair spin. Look at that dramatic chair spin. God damn.
Huh?
Dude. Anyway, yeah, no, so the DM had sent like the link over for like the book, and they were like, yeah, so like if you had taken a look at this, and like as I was opening it, I was like, yeah, no, I totally have. Then it opened, and I was like, you know what, these two should probably go first. And then I made up a character concept on the spot, and that was my first character.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I had already created my character days before that point.
Of course you fucking had. It will surprise absolutely nobody who watches this stream. Who watches this stream, meaning Elstragoon.
Yeah.
But that Corey obsessively makes characters. He makes characters with a greater depth than any person I have ever seen. He knows the name of like his character's mailman's dog. Like, it is legitimately astounding to me as somebody who walks into the table with like a basic idea of who this person is and like not even having like a name that I'm ready to commit to. It's wild.
Except my characters are all dipshits too. What's your concept, Corey? He's an alcoholic, and he's a troll, and he is a party clown.
Sabata is not a dipshit.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. He is a shithead to some extent. No, I mean, like, legitimately, I am constantly in awe of, like, the detail you put into your characters, especially having been your GM for several games and, like, knowing the stuff that you put into your characters that never makes it to the table.
So fucking accurate, most of it.
It's unbelievable.
I like little headcanon. It's just for me. a little treat for Corey.
Yep, just there.
I mean, Taylor's saying a lot right here. The man is making OST for his tabletop game.
That's just pressing buttons. That's not work.
It sounds like.
You guys want to see me make an OST really quick? Okay, here we go. No.
That's a cool
Oh, look at
VST. That's a cool VST you got on that bad boy.
Yeah, no, I actually really love this thing.
Actually, let me talk about this for a minute. So here's the thing. Like, I've been thinking about it. I'm going to throw together, Taylor, for you. I don't know if this is going to see stream. I'm going to start throwing together, like, some templates that we can look at for what we can put on for words so we know what our pages are going to look like visually.
Yes.
Which means we got to look at, like, what kind of binding we want, what kind of stock we want, like, weight, paperweight, things like that are going to be things we're going to want to look at. We want to do saddle stitch, we want to do pure binding, like, fun stuff. But yeah,
Fun.
I mean, it's not so bad. I kind of dig it, actually. But yeah, we'll look at sizes. I'm going to throw together some templates for you and I to look at. I've been thinking about, like, man, because I was like, if we have a drawing for each species and each...
We need something for each species.
Well,
They're not...
in each province, I'm like, if at a half-page drawing, that's 7.5 pages, and then throw onto that, we're going to need a full page for both character sheets. That's 9.5 pages right there. Like, that's a lot of book eaten up. And we have a feat-based game, so my coworker came up with a good idea. He goes, why do a drawing for each? He's like, do a drawing of all of them.
Oh, shit, yeah, a little group photo.
That's what Dungeons & Dragons 3.0 did. I was like, oh, that's a great idea.
That is a great idea. Shit, that's a really good idea. Fuck.
Oh my god, Elsdragoon, I don't even want to see the asset list for your... Are you kidding me? You got physical assets, my man. I'm terrified of you. Oh my... I can't even imagine, dude. That is so much.
Jesus.
Oh. I don't even want to know.
From the artist, any bets? Jesus. I don't even want to fucking think about that because we're just starting to get to the point where we have to start looking at like hiring an artist to come up with this shit. I'm scared to death. Like it's gonna be astronomical.
I mean, here's the thing. For like our 1E doc, like I can use my art for our 1E doc. Like we can go from there or not, but like
well, then you better get cracking.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing I've been
because you're one person.
Incorrect. I'm more than one person. I swear to God.
He is the de facto artist as of right now. In private conversations, we've been talking about bringing on an artist just because, my God, Corey takes on so much of the workload for this project by himself. And as much as I appreciate and love him for the work that he does, he is, in fact, one man. And if we're trying to get like a publication date by May 6th, we probably need to hire somebody else on.
I saw that they put a pig heart in a man. If we could make another one of me out of pig parts and electrocute him to life like in Frankenstein, I don't see what's wrong with that. Ethically,
that would be cheaper than just hiring an artist, right?
Making a pig.
That's our budget option.
We made a pig man.
It's like, okay.
Do you think that the guy who got the pig heart, like his friends are like, "Hey, hog heart, how you doing?" Because that sucks.
That's hurtful.
That's hurtful when you say that to me.
Fucking rude.
That's true,
okay,
and that's something we've talked about, and
yeah. And like, I don't know. At the same time, I really would like to help with a lot of these things, but they are things for which you need particular skills that I do not have. Like, I do not have artistic drawing skills, so like making the art is probably not something I can do. That's awful. I feel so bad for pig art guy.
They call him Henry Hoghart.
Yeah, so I'm kind of sitting here like not really sure what I can be doing. Probably I'll be getting to work a lot more on like page layout and like what a good like background, maybe looking into like possibly doing custom fonts. I don't know exactly how that's gonna look.
Well, I've been looking at fonts, a lot of commercial fonts, and like I can do the visual layout of pages and shit. I don't mind doing that shit. Like,
sorry, I know you can do that, but the point is that you shouldn't be doing all of these things. The only thing I'm doing right now is writing, which, for the record, I do most of that on stream. So really, all I'm going to be doing is editing the stuff I've already written.
Well, I mean,
while you make the art, do the page layout, handle the publication, find out what fucking binding works best. Like,
Saddle Stitch is the cheapest, but Pure's going to be nice.
This episode on missing the point.
Well, no. So Taylor, like, I don't want to forget, like, we need to rewrite a lot of this shit, and we need to write it in a way.
We do.
Yeah, like I think a lot of what you need to start doing is reading a bunch of RPG books and finding the best way to present that information. We have to nail tone. That is like you're going to be the deciding factor on tone. Like I'll pitch in what I like my 2 cents, but like you're going to be writing this shit. We need to make sure that we're not writing things like I think one of these is like business loaves.
If you tell me that business loaves has to go, I'm out. I'm out.
I just think it might be a copyright issue.
Or he's dead, Jim.
Yeah, like that might be a big one. Gene Roddenberry's gonna fucking attack us.
I will quit this whole project.
Yeah, I don't want to make a font. I'm just gonna buy one.
Is making a font actually that hardcore? I thought there were lots of like softwares where you could just kind of do that.
I mean, you could draw a font, but you got to draw uppercase, lowercase. Like it's a lot.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna leave that to both of your expertise then, because I've obviously never tried.
Well, it's like lettering is like. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever like watched seen good like
calligraphy and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I was gonna say chalkboard hand because I used to be a cook and that's like a thing.
Chalkboard hand?
Yeah, someone who writes. I mean, it's like modern calligraphy. I guess it's people who write well.
Is chalkboard hand? Is that like tennis elbow?
No. It's like your penmanship on a large chalkboard or whatever.
Okay. I was like, that sounds like an old-timey illness.
I've got sewing machine foot. No, we're definitely buying a font.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, but like, yeah, the lion's share of what this game is writing. It is an RPG book, like, and it's a feat-based one at that. Like,
yeah.
Editing's gonna be like huge, and I've got the attention span of a gnat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've definitely got the experience for it now. Like,
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, baby.
There is a job that could have prepared me for this. It's the one I'm working now. So
my biggest call is this right now, Taylor. What do we want our first start of playtest season to be?
Well, let's see. So it's got to be the Caravan, right? We've got to have like an actual playtest of the Caravan. After we do that, man, after that, I think what we need to do is we need to do playtests in order of like actual play. So like,
well, we haven't done combat yet.
Oh, I think the combat's definitely going to be getting there, but like, I don't think we're going to have adequately play tested the Caravan until we've done those initial, like, you take a contract or whatever, you have like your downtime thing, you play test according to like, did you do like R&D diplomatic or intel science or whatever.
So I thought about this.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we should have ourselves slow down by not having the contract negotiation system done yet.
Yeah.
We can do a playtest of basic combat to see how the action economy works.
Yeah.
Just straight up. And we can also just do a playtest, like throw a pile of dice in the middle and just call that the amount of caravan resources we're heading in with.
I mean, yeah, I suppose we could. My issue with that is just, I mean, it's testing out one cog in a machine that depends on all the cogs working appropriately.
Sure, but we do have to make sure that like the individual cog is ready to be put into the machine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, fair enough. I mean, if that's the case, it sounds like you kind of have your heart on doing
I think
caravan and then combat.
I would, yeah. If you choose caravan, I definitely choose combat next.
Okay, yeah. I mean, caravan, it's the thing that we're finally coming to an agreement with. So
Yeah.
that would be my pick for what we need to do first.
Okay, so we need to develop a word tag system. We need to develop the cost of the dice evolution and some jobs and quirks to start.
Yeah. Okay.
And we need that by the 26th. And then following that, what we need for combat is developing the NPC stat blocks. So those are the two forward goals that we have.
Okay, sick.
So next week, let's try to have our that shit. Let's try to pay-per-view our feats and shit that we come up with.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay. I can't believe you fucking posted that. Why?
I know.
Why would you do this?
I looked at it and I was like, he gonna be mad at me.
The only way out is forward.
That's
Let's
right. That's the thing. Like I don't think we should slow ourselves down. Let's like by the time the 26th happens, we should be playtesting every other week, kind of thing. Like really, really getting into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact is, and I think Elstragoon has actually mentioned this before. Really, we should have been playtesting a long time ago. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
We started though, and we've been doing it.
We did, no, and like, I don't know. I think that it's not a wise decision to get too wrapped up in it or anything like that. But kind of what I said before. Only way out is through.
I like Elstragoon's comment here.
Don't get anything done till I promise someone will DM for them.
Oh
man, know that feeling.
And that brings me to like the one final thing that I'm gonna say, which is like moving forward. Once we have the 1E document, like kind of our rule set kind of completed. Once we're like, get our alpha shit done. The real exciting thing is, other than like we're gonna be finalizing those rules more and more and getting to an actual play state so we can write the big book. Taylor, we get to start working on adventures together soon.
Man, I am so pumped for that.
Yeah.
I cannot begin to say, like, that is honestly, that's been kind of like the carrot as opposed to like the stick of like get the shit done before May 6th.
Yeah.
We have had so many like veiled GM conversations where like we hint at things that we're working on in our games, but like obviously because we're playing for each other, we can't actually say like what the thing is. I am so excited to be able to talk with you freely about the storyline for an adventure that we're going to be playing through.
Yeah, so I don't know, we're getting closer and closer every day.
And then we'll. What I'd really like to do also is like, it'll be like a little like small, like maybe 2 or 3 part adventure. I'm ready. I can't wait to playtest that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like have like a couple of streams in a row where like we get like a party together, and we and we actually get to do Well, we actually get to have an interesting stream where it's not the two of us arguing about what dice we should use for a roll.
No, but Taylor, by the nature of our game, we will be arguing about which dice each of us can roll.
It's true.
Cursed!
It's the forever cursed.
All right.
Okay.
Everyone have a fantastic evening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing templates.
See you later, Elstragoon.
Bye.
Been nice having you around. Bye.
I gotta